Okay, there is no time to waste. It actually took us a lot longer in period one than I had hoped, but they weren't super pay attention. We'll see how you do. You do need a compass. You do need a protractor. They can either be mine or yours, but you need to be situated. I need the homework out. We're going to go over it for a couple minutes, not too much. Please look carefully at the notes on the board. There are a couple notes with the homework later. Number one, you cannot complete this digitally. It just doesn't work. Won't be accepted. It's got to be done paper pencil. Two, there is no answer key for two reasons. One, it's a weird check because of what we're doing. Two, I want to see how you do on your own without a guide. It's not that many problems. I think it's like 8 questions. Okay, you need to get it done, submit it. It's something new. If it doesn't go perfectly, it's not a big deal. We will do this for 2 days, and you'll only do the first part of 1.6. You will not do the second part. You will be able to tell when it ends, okay? In general, without going too deeply into the homework last night, overall, how did this assignment go? Overall, pretty good. Overall, not bad. Okay, I'm going to make a couple comments. You do need to know adjacent, vertical, and complementary. Last year I told you didn't really need to know them. This is not the same situation. You do need to know them this year. None of the algebra should have spoofed you. The algebra in this class does not really heat up until later. So if you're doing this work and you're like, hey, I got x equals 7, that seems kind of simple. That's the way the class goes at the beginning for quite a bit. Okay? Remember, bisect splits it exactly in half into 2 congruent angles. Okay? And watch out for ones like 14 through 17. Can you make each conclusion? You have to really, honest to goodness, have proof that something is true to say, yes, I know it's true. Even if you believe it to be true, that's not enough. So I'm looking at 16, angle ADB, which is up here, is congruent to angle CDB, which is here. There's a chance that they are. Do I have any proof, anything I can really take to the bank saying that they're the same? No. So you gotta say no. You gotta say no. So just be careful on those. And reminder, linear pairs must be adjacent. So these angles form a linear pair. That was a good line. Because they make 180 and they're next to each other. But if I have like a random 50-degree angle, what would its supplement be? Anybody? Anybody? 130. Even though these are supplementary, they are not a linear pair because they're not adjacent. Linear pairs must be next to each other. Okay? And how'd the last question go? Little advice. When you draw your first angle, don't make it an itty-bitty tiny angle because then you're going to keep bisecting it and it's going to become impossible to read. Did anybody do that? Did anybody make a real tiny? Proud. Proud, okay? What did I do? XC bisects AXB. What kind of angle did I make AXB? Straight. No, I made it a straight angle. Is that allowed? Yeah. Sure. Now, my only comment here, if you look at the picture, there's no way this is drawn to scale. You know what I mean? There is no way like that's 8. But who cares? Nobody said it had to be. So once you follow it down, I bisect here, I bisect there, there. I ultimately end up with a couple of 2s, 4s, 8s, and 16, and then I just have to give them what they want. Okay, and they wanted specifically angle GXH. So GXH, you ultimately end up adding 1 of each to get 30. You have to think about it, but you would definitely help your cause if you make a straight angle. You do not help your cause if you make a little tiny, like 45-degree angle and keep bisecting it, which I know some of you probably did. Okay? The one from class yesterday, if anybody wanted to know, it was 15 degrees. I don't know if anybody got it. It was the same kind of question. Okay? Cool. Okay. Nobody's going to pay attention for you today. I'm going to guess you haven't done things quite like this before. That's okay. But if you don't pay attention to things that are new, it's not a surprise if they end up being more difficult than they need to be. We're going to work on constructions today. Okay, and you're going to replicate this on your homework. The homework is very short. It needs to be done accurately. I'm only giving you, I think, 8 questions. That's reasonable. I need them done well. It's not a 3-minute homework assignment. It's also not a 50-minute, but you got to take your time, line things up well. Because at the end of the day, measurements like this, they kind of matter. Okay?
Pardon the interruption. Moyen Al Hussein, please report to room 116. Moyen Al Hussein, please report to room 116.
Go get it quick. Okay. Now, when we talk basic constructions, if we're looking, I need everybody to hear this message right away. Your only tools are a compass and a straight edge. But I want to talk to you about the straight edge. In theory, it is not marked. So at no point today should you be measuring on the ruler. If one of your reasons today is, well, I measured 3 inches, I'm going to say no. So in theory, the straight edge is unmarked. And I know all of yours are probably marked, but being able to measure it like a ruler, that is not part of what we're doing. Okay, and we're going to construct congruent segments and angles. And accuracy matters. Imagine construction of real life figures, like when they're working on things, and how much accuracy matters. Okay, so you got to pay really careful attention. We're actually not going to do that many questions today, but they need to be done well. Start with some matching. Go ahead and quickly do the matching on your own. No partners? Nope, no partners. With you. You should be quick. Please get you thinking about it. You're welcome to use your own pencil. You're welcome to use the compass pencil if you want to start getting hyped. Please don't poke yourself with the compass. We got a little bit of that from period 1, not that much. Not that much. I am just going to pick people for this, so stay on your toes. We're inverted again back there. I love that. I actually really. Did you really?
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, you should be good. Gemma, where did you bring congruent? Who did it match with?
The bottom one.
Wow. Bottom one. I like it. Let's see. Tutor, point.
The second one.
W. Good. Kim, Ray. Huh?
The second last one.
So W, I would just say WP, that second to last. Oscar, Vertex.
Like the last one.
Yeah, okay, G. Okay, good. Okay, and then that means intersection of the segments is the top one. We worked this a little bit yesterday. Those create vertical angles. Okay, and we're good. Okay, we're not going to get into perpendicular stuff today. It is coming tomorrow. Okay, but I'd like to just fill it in. Perpendicular means they meet to form right angles. Okay, do you recognize this symbol at all by chance?
Yes.
Yeah, the perpendicular symbol. You're not going to need it today, but I figure we put the notes in anyway, then we'll come back to it a little bit tomorrow. Did you know there are perpendicular universes?
Yeah.
Well, there's obviously parallel universes. Why wouldn't there be perpendicular universes? Ah, okay. Wow, you cared a little bit more than period 1, so that shows you how much they cared. Okay. You should know this from algebra 1. The slopes of perpendicular lines are. Ooh. Who's your algebra 1 teacher? Opposite reciprocals. You could also say negative reciprocals. Those are the same thing. Some people prefer that terminology. So A over B, its perpendicular slope is what? Negative B over A. Meaning, on this diagram, if the slope of the red line, let's see, I got this, I got that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So the slope of the red line is negative 4. Without doing all of that hard work, what should the slope of this blue line be? Should be 1/4. Okay, you'll need this logic tomorrow. I figured we just throw it in there, and then we can just kind of go for it. Okay. One of the things that we'll construct is called a perpendicular bisector. A perpendicular bisector, by definition, I believe you have a little bit to fill in, is a line, segment, or ray that is perpendicular to the segment at its midpoint, thereby bisecting the segment into two congruent segments. That's very wordy, but it is accurate. Now the good news is, well, I'll give you a second. Hopefully you weren't holding the compass while you did that. That'd be dangerous. Exactly. Okay. So, as wordy as that is, as long as you know what perpendicular means, and as long as you know what bisect means, you know what a perpendicular bisector is. Okay? What's this mean? Makes right angles? Maybe? What's this mean? Splits into two equal pieces. So it shouldn't shock you that a perpendicular bisector comes down, hits a segment, splits it into two pieces, and forms a right angle. So the diagram shows it. But I want to point out a couple things. It says that this can be a line, a ray, or a segment. What is it right now? It's a line, right? So according to this, if it's a perpendicular bisector, if I call that midpoint C, what statement is true, everybody? AC, anybody, is congruent to CB. That is true based on the diagram. But that's it as a line. They tell you it could be a line, it could be a ray, or it could just be a segment. And it will still be a perpendicular bisector. We will construct these tomorrow, but if you can't do today's constructions, you can't do tomorrow's. Okay? So what are your only tools? A straight edge and a compass. You're going to create a construction. Using a straight edge and a compass, we're going to create geometric figures. We're only going to do 2 of them today, which I know doesn't sound like much. It was a bit much for them in period 1. And we'll do 2 more tomorrow. Okay, the best message I can give you is practice. There was a student in period 1 that was extremely good with the compass. They asked her, how did you get so good with the compass? And she said, use it a lot. Good advice.
That makes sense.
It did make sense. Okay? But again, I want you to imagine that the straight edge is unmarked. Now before we even get to the compass, let's do a protractor. I want you to use the protractor, flip to the next page, and kind of like you're in 4th grade, I want you to construct a 60-degree angle, no help, no talking. If you need one of my protractors, go get one. Shh. Up. Draw a 60-degree angle. We're reliving the good times. I think this was 4th grade. Did they actually draw them or just measure?
Well, we just measure.
I think mostly measure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what you do. Okay, now some of you right out of the box will be in trouble. We'll find out. It doesn't have to be you, but it could be. What should you do first? Not lines. Draw a ray. If you draw a line, you automatically drew in multiple angles. You draw an array. Now that's what the bottom of the protractor is for. Okay, so you should use the straight edge to draw in a ray. Okay? That's going to be the vertex of your angle, and it does go on forever. All your angles do go on forever at that point. Okay? Who can tell me now, what am I supposed to do? Can you just talk me through what to do with the protractor? Anybody? Nobody can? One person? Tucker?
Put like the draw it into the thing and you line up the line on the array.
Okay, so you need the middle to line up right here, not the bottom. You need this to be flush against the ray. Okay, now what you want to do from here is kind of up to you. What I used to do, I would take a ruler and then I would really extend out to 60 degrees. I don't know if anybody did that. That way it's all the way. Did anybody make a mark out here at 60? That's what I would do. I would make a mark at 60. I would use my ruler to verify, and then I would remove said protractor, and then I would draw a line well, ray, sorry, from there through that point, and then that should be 60 degrees. Okay, now I'm able to just kind of spit this out right there. Little advice, even though they didn't ask you to, you would be wise to put at least a vertex down. Okay, so if you put an A there, now I at least know the measure of angle A is 60 degrees. If you want to go for the gold, you could put more points out there, but I would at least put one down. Okay, so what a lot of students will do is they'll lay it out just like Tucker said. They'll usually do a ruler just to find 60. They'll put a mark out here, connect, they're on their way. Okay? Why don't you want to draw a line? Because then it's not really just a 60-degree angle. There's more angles going on. A lot of people draw an entire supplementary diagram. They draw a line like this. What you actually created was pretty good. What you actually created are two angles. Okay? Did they have you draw in 4th grade? I heard there's a lot of measuring, but I heard there's not a lot of actually constructing the angle. Decent. Protractor good? Any questions about the protractor before it gets wild? Alright. It's time. So, first of all, it's not that bad. But, yeah, here's the problem, okay? I let them try it on their own in period 1. I'm not opposed to doing that again because I think there's something to be said for it. But then when I was trying to fix them, some of them just weren't watching. I'm like, I can't help you if you're not going to watch at that point. Okay? It's not that bad. You do need to be able to do these in spots in the course. It's not the entire course. Okay? Now, no matter what kind of protractor you have, what you want to do is make sure that it's somewhat level. So take your little protractor. I have two kinds. I have the kind with the fancy, like, mechanical pencil, and then I've got the kind where you put your own pencil in. So if I'm going to use the mechanical one, what you want to do is you want to be lined up so that the points are, like, right with each other. You do not want a situation where the point is here and the pencil's hanging way down, or vice versa. So go ahead and make sure you're lined up, and if you're not lined up, you might need to adjust it a little bit. I also have these kinds with the old school put the pencil in. These are all I used when I was your age. And again, you want to loosen this, line it up. They should really be touching in theory, and then you're level, and then you're good. Okay? Now, there are 3 ways to draw with the protractor on the page. They all work, but they all have their pros and their cons. Okay? Way number 1 is you can put the point down. I know, be careful. And you can use your other hand to guide the pencil, but there's a big flaw with that.
If you like push on it too hard, it'll mess
If
it
you
up.
move that at all, it all gets messed up. But if you're super careful, you can do that. What is option 2? This requires the coordination. You put it down, you keep the point stable, that's your center, and then you twist the top. That is option 2. For those of you that can't do 1 or 2, there's option 3. Does anybody know what option 3 is?
You don't feel it.
No, you have to do it. You can rotate the whole page. You can put it down. I will see it done. You can put it down, rotate the page. So I want you to do is, I want you to try to draw a couple circles.
Where?
Anywhere. Not in the bottom. Use the top. Use the top. If you do the bottom once, that's fine, but don't do the whole page of circles. For some people, it's not.
No, that's not.
I'm going to come around and look at your circles.
That actually looks
Yeah, don't use up the bottom too much. If you did, you might want to erase because I need that space.
Okay, ready? I'm trying to hello. I am a woman. Wow. Oh, this doesn't work. Are you serious? No, it doesn't. It does.
Alright. Now, here's the good news. If you're not great at it, you don't actually need to draw circles today. You're only going to have to draw arcs. So as long as you can draw like a little bit of it, you can make it through today and tomorrow. Eventually later in the year we might draw some circles, but today we're not going to, okay? I want you to look at the bottom, Okay, and I let them try it in period 1 because that's what they wanted, but then I told you, I wasn't thrilled that when I needed to go over it with them, only like 5 of them were watching. And I've already looked at some of their work and it's a little sketchy. We're gonna do 2 things today. The first is just called copying a segment. That is segment AB. They tell you exactly what to do in order. My question to you is, do you want to just go team try it on your own first, or do you want to do it together first? Who wants to try on your own first?
No.
Put it up. Ooh, not many of you. Okay, so let's watch. Okay. Now, if you want to try it on your own, you're welcome to start looking ahead, but don't be surprised if you have to get fixed on this. Okay? We need to construct XY so that XY is congruent to AB. Do we all see segment AB? Wonderful. Okay. What's step 1? What do they tell us to do? Please do that. And yes, you need a straight edge. Draw a ray. No. No. Draw a ray with endpoint X. If you don't know what that looks like, just look at the board. I already have that one. Okay. If you don't even bother to draw this ray with a straight edge, 0 out of however many points it is. I won't even grade it. You have to draw your rays with a straight edge. That's not asking too much. It was for some people earlier. Okay, step 1, complete. Open the compass to length AB. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your compass. You're going to bring it so that you have a point right on AB, on A. I have to slide this down a little bit. Keep it firm, and then you're going to bring it so that your compass is of length AB, just like mine. Looks good? Yes?
Can I use it? Like mine is like backwards almost, because I'm like.
It doesn't matter if it's underneath. It's AB.
Okay, good.
Your compass just has to be length AB. It doesn't matter if you have it like that. It doesn't matter if you have it like that. It doesn't matter if you have it underneath.
Okay.
Your compass needs to be length AB. Well, that's step 2. Step 3, with the same compass setting, so that's the same exact compass setting right now, okay? You're going to put the compass point at point, yours says C, right?
Yeah.
That should be an X. So you're going to bring it down here. And then you're going to draw an arc, like that. An arc, like that.
Underneath or above?
I did both. Like that. I went above and below. I did not draw an entire circle. You could, but it's not a great idea for this one. Shh. Label the point of intersection, which is right here. Now it says D. They actually wanted XY. Label it Y. You're done. Now watch. Wait. Ooh. It is. This is your first construction mark. Construction marks are required. Okay, the construction mark is this arc. So if you can't draw an entire circle, you don't need to. Okay, you can simply draw that arc in. That segment is actually the same. Okay, and if you don't believe me, you could measure it, but we're not going to. The length of AB has been copied down here to XY. That was all we did. So we drew a ray with endpoint X. We opened the compass to the length of this. Most important, we did not adjust the compass again. We brought it here. We drew an arc, the intersection. There's my segment. Okay, really not that. Okay, try to see if you can copy that segment again. Try to do exactly what we just did. See if you can do it again. Make your own segment, but I want you to make your segment with your initials.
So it's just 18.
Wait, but what if it's? Oh, yours is 18. It's just 18. What if it's double?
Okay, if you're double, you have to use your middle name or something. Figure something out. Yeah, good. Anybody else double here? If you're double, use another letter. Or use a name you've always wanted.
Can we just do that as a way?
No.
Because hers is AB. I don't want to
Oh, mine's EW.
Label it with your initials or the initials of your crush.
Whoa.
Whoa. That's funny. We were back when I was your age, and my crush was all the girls in JTT, Jonathan Taylor. Oh, they loved him. No, he was in Home Improvement, the show. Yeah, they all loved JTT. They'd be like, who do you have a crush on? They'd be like, JTT. I'm like,
Is he fine?
I don't know.
I wanted you to say yes.
Now, okay, so now, that's the gist of it. If you're able to replicate that, that's great. What I want you to do now somewhere, and you have to think about this, now you're going to construct RS, and what's the requirement? Where are they telling you? They want RS to be congruent to what? 2 times AB or double AB. Let's see what you do with it. Go ahead. The same AB, you have to create it. You have to make it. I need you to construct RS, and I need it to be double AB, and it needs to be very similar to what we just did. I got you started already up there by drawing Ray R. Follow the same steps, although it's got to be double, and I want to see how you account for that.
I just drew a point back here. Wait. Oh, I think I know what to do.
I need to see more than one.
I think that's good. That is my construction bar.
I need to see more than one.
I just did it. He said he's
Okay, so that's I just like
Why? You'll see. Don't worry. Okay. Now, nobody is stopping you later. If you have to look at the steps later, there's no shame. Okay? I would like for you to start with Ray R. Most of you started to do it the way I would recommend. Some of you did it another way that has its drawbacks to it. Okay? But I started with Ray R. Well, if I can't construct one of RS, what chance do I have of doing 2 of them? No chance, okay? So what was the first step? We drew this R, that's done. What do I do with this compass now? Go over, put the point on A, and then what do I do with it? Open it up? So it's right there, okay? Now, here's the way I would recommend doing it, and I can kind of tell you why. I would copy this segment once. So I'm going to come here, okay, and I'm going to draw my arc in. If you need to draw the whole circle, you can, but I don't advise that because you will get lost in your own work pretty soon. What did I just create right now? I just copied, hello? I just copied AB. So it would be a good practice to put something here, any point. No one's going to give me a letter?
Q.
Q, I like it. Okay.
W.
But I don't want to just copy it. I want it to be double. Okay, so I have a couple of options. There's one I would recommend and one I don't love as much. Some people will keep the compass going and do a whole circle and say that that's 2 of it. Okay, there's 2 reasons I don't love that. One, I already drew a ray, and then I'd have to extend it, and that's going to be a problem. But 2, it's not going to help you when we double the angle. So my actual advice is to keep the compass setting and just put the point where?
Oh, to that.
Just put it here. Yeah. I'm going to change the color because I can.
If I just like.
Done. Done. Now, For the crowd that wants to do this, just put a point there and draw a circle, because this is the radius and therefore this has to be double. There's a couple of issues that arise with that. You're supposed to draw a ray first. This is just the way it's done. And that's not a ray, okay, at all. If anything, it would be a line. Secondly, that's not going to help you with what we do next. So my official advice would be copy AB, keep the setting, put the point here, copy it again, 1 construction mark, 2 construction mark, and then you're good. Okay? The other thing you could have done is instead of the construction mark there, you could have done it the other way. Okay? Yes? That's what I just talked about. I would steer clear of that. I've seen problems with that because you also have a line on there too. You know what I mean? Usually we draw rays and then we cut them off. That is common practice. So that wasn't that bad, right?
Yep.
Okay, this one's more annoying. But questions about it? Remember, you don't have to draw full circles. As long as you can get an arc, you can do it. Okay? Now this one, I'm going to have you be team try it as a group. Just for a couple minutes. Go ahead, step by step. Copy an angle.
With the compass,
The steps are very good. The steps are very good, just one at a time.
the same compass setting, but the compass B. Same compass setting. Raw and hard with the compass point X.
It tells you exactly what to do, I promise.
Wait, what does it mean, draw BD? This is
So unfortunately,
I think that's big of a thing.
I don't. That's it.
You asked a question? No, I didn't even hear. What did you ask? What? Looks like.
That's what.
Here too, just draw one. One arc, label next to one. You do one arc. You gotta be willing to try it and get it wrong. It's not a big deal. I will get you there. The directions are very good. You gotta follow.
I'm gonna rotate the paper.
Oh no, you like cut it in half.
Like this?
No, it's like a half.
Also, the math is always right.
Oh, wait, no, we're on.
You should do the measurement. Measure your pitch accuracy, right?
I think he cheated.
Alright, stop where you are.
This is Steve cheats.
Put your compass, pencil down, etc. Be careful setting your compass down. Okay, let's watch. Good news. You're not freaking out about how to use the compass, but you have to follow these directions extremely carefully. They actually did make it harder for you. This angle is not flat. They actually made it a little bit more difficult for you. Okay? Step one, everybody should have been able to do. Okay, now a little advice. I wouldn't draw ray B, what they were doing in period one. I wouldn't draw ray B, I wouldn't draw it right underneath here, because then your construction marks like run into each other. So give yourself a little space. What is step one, everybody? What do they want?
Draw it away with the endpoint B.
Okay, so with a straight edge. Again, if you don't draw that with a straight edge, it's a 0. I don't even have to look at anything else. It's just sloppy. It's lazy too. Okay? Step one, complete. With the compass point on point A. Okay, well, I can do that. Right here. Draw an arc that intersects the sides of angle A. Somebody in period 1 asked me, does it matter the size of the arc? Does it ask you? No. So guess what? I get to pick. I wouldn't make an arc so small I can't see it. I wouldn't make one so big it goes off the page. So I need to make one arc, not two. I'll go here. And it intersects both of those. Okay? Label the intersection points what? X and Y. Okay. Ooh, it just moved. Okay, that's bad. Okay, so I'm going to label each of these X and Y. It does not matter which one I call X and which one I call Y. Does not matter. Okay, so step 2, done. Here's where it gets tricky, in my opinion. With the same compass setting, which means you cannot adjust your compass, you can't collapse it, you can't lose it. Okay? So with the same compass setting, we're going to go down to point where? B. And we're going to draw the same arc. Okay, draw an arc and label its point of intersection with the ray as C. So we're going to go here. Like that. Nice healthy arc. We're going to call this C. Right now we didn't do anything too spectacular. In fact, walking around briefly, it looked like a lot of you were able to get that done. So how are we looking so far? Good, not good, blah. Because if you can't follow that, you can't follow what happens next. Which step did we just complete? 3. I think this is the hardest part. Open the compass to length XY. This is actually harder for me to do with the digital compass. So I'm going to bring the compass up. I'm going to, just have to like rotate it. Open the compass so that it is the length of XY. Remember, it doesn't matter if I have the same XY as somebody else. So I'm going to get it here. How's that look? Pretty good? Okay, so I did that. And this is the hardest part for me. Once I get that, I have to keep that compass setting. If I let it open up or close, the whole thing is messed up. So I'm going to measure XY with my compass. And it says keep the same compass setting. And where are we supposed to put the compass? I walked around. Some of you put it on B, and that's why you got no chance. You're going to put it down here on C. You're going to draw an arc. Oh, wait. They intersected, didn't they? Guess which point that is? No, they tell you. D. Finally, we completed step 4. Draw ray BD. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go there. Angle copied. If I wanted to measure with my protractor, where did my ray go? If I wanted to measure it with my protractor, I could, but I'm going to draw on this last one, that intersection. Angle copy. Okay? Walking around, here are the mistakes I saw. They're all common ones. I saw a lot of you get good stuff, and once you measured X, Y, I saw you draw it from here. and then you're like, I don't understand what to do. Some of you started to draw, you didn't finish the arc. Your two construction marks should intersect. The intersection point is the money. That's D right there, and then you connect. So I want you to try the same thing. If you think you got it, see if you can do it again. Try to replicate this process where you copy angle A. There's no point in doing the double unless you can do this part. No, I wouldn't erase. You can erase the hard part. See if you can replicate that process. If you know how to do it again. Because then we're going to do the double one, and I want to see what you do with it. Locate point B. Where else is point BB? DB. The only point that exists. You do that. All the steps. The steps are good. They tell you exactly what to do. Then we will talk about the last one, which is actually the trickiest. Go ahead. We're about to do twice the angle. That was actually a little bit trickier. Got about another minute to try to get that process replicated. Then we'll do twice an angle together. Then we'll be done. Only 2 constructions today, but usually that's enough for people.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's smart. Yep. That's it.
Some of you are finding out my protractors are old and my compasses are old and not the best. That's why you know
Oh, this one is so cool.
Okay, stop what you're doing. We're going to do the last one together, kind of. I'm going to give you a shot at it. What is the last thing they're asking us to construct? Angle F. What is the deal with angle F? They want the measure of angle F to be what? Twice the measure of angle A. So, no protractor. So here's how it's going to work. What's the first thing I did up there? What did I draw? Ray F. Draw ray F. Again, no one's going to pay attention for you right now. You have to do it for yourself. Draw ray F. That is step 1. Well, I can't do double angle A unless I can at least copy angle A. It turns out we just did that. What was the first step in copying angle A? Put a point at A, draw any arc that intersects both sides. You should be doing this. I labeled them still. It's helpful for me to label them. I labeled that X and Y, and I have it. What do I do now? I keep the same compass setting. Anybody? No one can verbalize to me what I'm supposed to do? Draw the same arc on F. So it looks like this. Okay. I'm going to label that point just for myself. I'm going to label it C. Maybe I need the name of it, maybe I don't. But here's where it's going to get a little tricky. What did I have to do to get angle A? I had to open my compass so that it's what? Equal to XY. This is so annoying. It's easier for you to do. It's harder for me to do up here. Because I have to like rotate it with the green. I gotta zoom in. Shh. Too much. All right, how's that look for me? Good? Okay, this is what some of you were messing up. I'm going to change colors. Where am I putting my compass point right now? I'm putting it at C. I'm going to draw an arc. So close. And that intersection point would copy the angle if I were to connect it. But they don't want me to copy the angle. What do they want? Does anybody want to take a guess how I could double the angle? Why don't you talk about it at your tables? How could I double this angle? Any thoughts? No thoughts. There's a lot of chatter for no thoughts. Gemma.
Is it you put it on? You put the point on angle C, and then you draw your arc, and then you do it again on the arc intersection.
Where do I put this point?
On point C.
Here?
Yeah.
If I do that, I'm going to get the same thing. I just drew that.
Oh.
Good try though.
You
Audrey.
like put it the compass point on point, like the intersection.
Oh. You put it here. Think about it. Most of you aren't thinking about it. Some of you aren't even trying. It's already opened up to this length. So if I draw that, and then if I hit the intersection and draw it again, it's going to be double. Okay? So you're going to go there. You're going to draw. And then, I didn't make my black arc long enough. Of course. Ugh. What would ultimately happen if I continue this black arc right here? They're going to intersect right there. I didn't make the black arc long enough. Then I'm going to connect. And my angle is double. And I see my construction marks. And I can measure with a protractor if I wanted to. So, I'm going to back it up because some of you need to see this. I want you to try it again. Shh. I do the angle copy process. I keep the compass setting where it is. Gemma, your idea was right with keeping it where it was, but instead of putting it here again, we put it right at the intersection, and then we draw, then we're good. My only advice would be, you just saw it, your first construction mark, you might want to make it a little bit bigger than that. Okay, that way then you can see the intersection out here, and then you're good. Okay, I want you to try that exact process now. See if you can replicate it, what we just did. See if you can replicate what we just did. No one's giving up on day one. Yes. What? Yeah, you're just not there
Okay, you know what? You use this.
If you really want to see how accurate you are, just measure with your protractor. Measure that angle and measure your new one, see if it's double.
What do we do? Where's my pen?
It's actually
Just go grab another one.
Why are they the same measure? Why are mine the same?
I can look at it, but I might not be able to fix it right now. Let me see it, and then go grab another one. Where are these extra tips? Once you've successfully completed that, you can start looking at the homework for the last 5 minutes or so. But don't kid yourself. If you have no idea how to do this, you might want to ask before we leave. And if you don't know what's going on, you're going to have to point me to a specific step.
What do you think you get it? No, dang it. She needs it.
Okay, Miss Preston.
God is watching this movie still. God is watching. Our country is so great. Do not know God is God is You are not the actual this is what happened. This is not this is literally this is not Wait.
I'm glad I like the old ones better. There's something to be said about the old school ones.
I know who I am.
Wait, okay, did it break off? You have one of those? You can also borrow one if you need to. Just have it right now. It's like gym. So pretty much all you need to do.
One about the airport. And added extra noise gates to it. Wait, show us the after stuff. That shows you. I was waiting to see how we do that. What? No kidding. You got wait, I'm 17. Wait, yo, it's it got an entire. It's going down. It's going down.
No, it's on the. It's on the.
I don't want to.